Yes, hello. Exception-driven design, it's just a fancy title to get accepted for a lightning talk. But I promise you, it does cover one of those words on the title. I'm working for Flemish government doing innovation subsidy. If you're interested about talking about subsidies, also feel free to come to me. I'm also a Laravel teacher at Harbor Space. If you like education and like talking about teaching Laravel, also come to me. But now, the real talk. Nobody here in this room deploys code without full test coverage. Right? Well, yeah, we all know that we all do it sometimes. And full test coverage, well, full, what does that mean? Not empty, but okay. So, we deployed without tests. Uh-oh. Is that bad? No. No, actually it isn't, because I've been doing it for several years. And it's a problem, yes, but you can solve it. And do you know which problem it is if you deploy without tests? It's a very well-known problem. It's error 500 that your user sees, and you don't see it. But it's solvable. Yes, the only thing you need is a bug tracker. And I don't care which one you choose. I've chosen Flare, of course. But you can pick anyone that actually sends notifications to you, and it gives you easy access to the full information. What was in the request, which user was being logged in, because then you have everything just to fix that problem. What else do you need? You need to be able to have a quick deploy. Quick deploy means your repo is healthy. You can always deploy a fix in a matter of minutes. And that's really, really important. And then the third thing you need to do is you need to inform your client that sometimes an error 500 may happen, but that you will fix it, and that you will fix it fast because you receive a notification. So, be transparent about that way of working, because you will deal with it. Is it then always acceptable not to have tests? Well, there is this very nice Eisenhower matrix, and you've seen it in any field or domain that you've studied. They find a way to snuggle in this matrix, because there's always something to say. And the real thing is, when it's important and urgent, yes, you need tests. But in all of the other cases, you can survive easily without testing. For instance, a backend admin, where only some people are adding content. If you make some changes somewhere to a component or to a database structure and it goes wrong, yes, you just receive an exception and you will fix it. There is not a rocket that is crashing or this kind of things. A little bit harder is when it's urgent and not important, like email notifications. Typically you want to have tests there, because otherwise you will get a lot of exception notifications on your mobile phone. When is it unavoidable to work with tests or with exceptions? Well, there is this Johari window. It's coming out of psychology. It's something you know, you don't know, others don't know, and then how are your personality types, how do you react under stress, and that kind of things. But you can also apply this to exceptions. And for instance, a middleware issue, typically you don't know, because it's really only happening when you're in deployment. Like something that is not, or you know that in this middleware there is something that, it's a bit strange, but it will only very seldom happen, that I'm not catching that case. You can live with an exception and see when it really becomes a problem. Or an API failure is kind of a blind spot for you sometimes. Well, without those exceptions, you would not notice it anyhow. And sometimes, because clients rarely give you the feedback. And I think just my way of dealing with it is just trust in the exceptions. Okay, it has an impact on the way I write my code. Typically, I want to fail fast because I want to find out the soonest possible that something is failing. So I use SOL, for instance, instead of first to really rule out the rare cases. I fail small. I make everything that happens as atomic, or as microservice thinking-like as possible. For instance, instead of sending a batch of mails in one job, I make one job for dispatching, one for each mail. If something is wrong with an email address, it fails there. And then I fail in my error path. This is something that we've all seen. You can actually check your input on something, or you can actually take that check that is there in the top bar, and you can do it and just test and throw exceptions. And this way, you will always also catch exceptional situations. Just put your mindset to the thing, exceptions are not bad. So actually, it's okay not to have tests, but you need to make sure that you are capable of acting when something small is going to happen. Or if you want it a little bit more correct, every exception you get is, of course, an invitation for a new test. Thank you.